All right, guys, went back today with an extreme torture test on the brand new Cyelee X Pro, a large window red dot with an incredible battery life, multi-reticle design, and a very interesting profile. We're going to talk about all the exact specs and features of this red dot as the review continues, but we're out here today to do an extreme torture test to see if the innovative protective hood design actually works in real life scenarios with some really hard drops. We're going to first confirm zero on camera at this target from 7 yards, beat it up, and then evaluate the red dot after that, head back to the tabletop and talk about its performance down at the range. So here's our group from about 7 yards. I'm going to beat this thing up and see if it shifts over time. During the test, the gun will be completely unloaded. The first test is a waist-high drop on metal about 5 or 6 times. Then we'll check zero and continue the testing. Absolutely no shift in zero, and I wouldn't expect anything less for those simple drops. Let's step it up. Now some drops on this cinder block. So you can see we definitely have some scuffs and dings, but the protective hood is taking most of the impact and the dot itself remains intact and there is no breakage for the glass. Let's fire those next few shots. Still holding up perfectly, no shift in zero whatsoever. This thing is absolutely awesome. So you can see I have some bodywork damage to the hood of this car. I'm going to try to straighten it out with my optic. Yeah, that'll do. Still no shifts in zero whatsoever. This is working out incredibly well. So I've taped off the muzzle to prevent bore obstructions because we are throwing this thing super high in the air. So this is where the protective hood came in very handy. You can see some really hard impacts right here, which protected the lens. That was also some very high throws, and you could see the impacts on the rocks and debris on the ground. But let's take some shots and see if it holds zero. Still holding zero, so I did have a couple of flyers, but these were mid trigger pull. I slowed it down a little bit. I believe this was my fault, but guys, that took some serious hits. It was probably 30 feet in the air and then hit that ground. We're still going to keep abusing it a few more times. Now I've got this nice solid rock emerging from the dirt. We're going to be doing some more drop tests, but at a larger height this time as the final test. Also, guys, take a look at the Palmetto State Armory dagger, still functioning great after all of this abuse. I actually have 2 full torture test videos on this. You can subscribe to the channel and check those out. All of the info about the daggers will be on the campsite page. An affordable optics ready Titan to compete or to really rival a lot of other optics ready guns for twice the price. Look at all these marks. This thing is mangled up. It took some serious drops and hits. The final shots, then back to the tabletop for an overview. This did not shift 0 at all. The final shots were all right in here. You could tell those 2 flyers were just flyers. They hadn't actually shifted 0. Look at this group. Insane durability out of the new Cyelee Bowl X Pro. Well, guys, you can see this is the absolute toughest red dot I've ever used on the channel. Now, I've done torture testing on red dots before, but this one passed with flying colors. And honestly, during the test, after some of the drops on the brick, I knew kind of going forward that this thing could take a beating no matter what happened because of this innovative hooded design. Now there's 2 variations of this red dot. The first one is the X Pro, which we are looking at here, and that is the multi-reticle design. But they also have the Cyelee Bowl Pro, which is the single dot version, which is a little bit cheaper. Now, this one is on sale for $340, but they've got a 25% off coupon code specifically for my viewers to drop the price down to $250. If you buy just the dot version of this red dot, which is the same housing, battery life, for all intents and purposes is the exact same dot other than the multi-reticle design, and that one is actually on sale for $250. Then after the discount code drops even more, closer to about $200. So it just depends on what you want. It takes a side load battery compartment, which is absolutely awesome because you can swap that out without re-zeroing. It's a low profile design, so you actually have iron sights that can clear the dot itself. The protective housing is insane. It absolutely survived, no issues whatsoever. It also gets as bright as the sun down at the range. I mean, this thing is very bright. It also has some nice night vision settings, and the reticle itself is very crisp and clear. Also, it's a massive viewing window, and there's no real edge distortion whatsoever. So for competitive use or personal defense or duty use, this is going to be great because it's incredibly forgiving for easier shots. It was also very easy to pick up that dot down at the range and engage your target and transition from target to target. The other cool thing is it has an incredibly long battery life, and on top of that, it's made out of 7075 aluminum, which is a very durable housing material and a very tough aluminum. It's also IPX7 waterproof rated, so again, you get that duty grade optic. Now, when I first reviewed the Bowl, I was reviewing it as more a competition red dot. After doing this torture test, seeing the waterproof rating, all the specs and features, and the price, I would say this is going to become one of my truly duty grade red dots if you can handle the little bit larger footprint. Now, this is not going to be great for concealed carry because it sticks out so wide, but if you were wearing it in like an outside the waistband holster and it didn't interfere, which I've had a lot of holsters and this one does not interfere, this would be perfect. A truly duty grade optic at a third of the price of some others on the market, and dare I say, maybe even more durable. You could see some of those insane drops and the glass held up perfectly. I love everything about this dot. It's an incredibly high value, and I can highly recommend either this, the X Pro, or the Standard Pro. Both are going to be incredibly durable, and you can follow some of those other videos. If you're not subscribed to the channel, definitely do so. I'm always producing content like this, and I'm always torture testing different products. If you're interested in more of the dagger, you can see this one's already been through a torture test. They work great. I've got a lot of info on those in the description below. And if you were looking for a high value pair, something that you could actually trust your life with and didn't want to break the bank, you can get something like this for under about $500, complete with everything you see here if you buy the Pro version, and about $550 if you buy the X Pro version. So that's a really good opportunity to save a ton of money. Also, you can follow me on my Instagram page, Twitter, and Patreon to get daily deals and updates that I don't necessarily make videos on, but you can find some more info there. All of the information, linking, and codes for this guy will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.